Welcome back everyone to another video. This time I've compiled a list of 5 games that I personally found exciting to play. I took into account the price to actual playtime, so you get the most value for your precious money if you decide to buy any of the titles I mentioned in the video. I'll leave links in the description so you guys can buy them or whatever you want to do. So let's begin this countdown. Number 5. Playdead's Inside. Inside is a classic platformer from the studio that brought you the critically acclaimed Limbo. Inside is a game without any spoken lines, so you have to figure out the story as you play. When you start the game, you jump right into the escape action. You run and eventually escape your pursuers. You traverse the post-apocalyptic looking world and quickly see that there's something horribly wrong with it. Its inhabitants are either mindless creatures that are controlled by mind control devices, guards, or scientists. The world has a lot of hidden Easter eggs and secrets for you to find, and when you finish the game, you kind of feel like you're missing something. If you play the game again and look even closer, you find more and more secrets and puzzles that eventually unlocks a secret ending. It's definitely worth a second or even a third playthrough. As of now, the game is only $7.99 on Steam's fall sale. The normal price is usually around 20 euros, so there's definitely extra bang for the buck as of right now. Number 4. Tom Clancy's The Division.
And it's still broadcasting.
Tom Clancy's The Division is one of my favorite third-person action RPGs of all time. I must have put at least 1,000 hours into the game spread across all of the platforms, and I find myself booting up the game from time to time to play a round of survival or just to roam around in the dark zone. In The Division, you play as a sleeper agent that's a part of the strategic Homeland Division, the last line of defense when all other measures against terror, bioterrorism, or war have been exhausted. The Division takes place in post-infected New York in the awesomely looking winter setting of 2016. A modified smallpox virus has eradicated most of the New Yorkers and has left the zone in the middle of Manhattan completely lawless. This is the Dark Zone. It's the area where you find the best loot, the meanest of bullet-sponging bosses, and the biggest douchebag agents you've ever seen. It makes for a thrilling game session when you and your mates hunt down rogue agents and take down wave after wave of enemies. The game offers a large amount of character and weapon customization, so you can really make your character your very own with each playthrough. I have 4 characters that all have precisely picked out gear to fit the challenges New York throws at you. There's also expansions to the game, some are free and some you need to buy. The most recent free DLC unlocked a new area of Manhattan, the West Pier. Here you can take part in the new zone defense game mode, where you have to fend off wave after wave of increasingly difficult enemies. You can also head to the underground, where you play a dungeon-style, randomly generated map with varying difficulty and objectives. Here you can really stack up some amazing loot and difficult challenges. You can modify each run with modifiers that changes the way the game is meant to be played. The harder the mission is, the better loot you get. If you don't want to head underground, you can also play a round of survival. It's a new take on the Battle Royale trend, except you can play both PvP and PvE modes. The objective is to locate an antiviral serum you need to survive, and then you have to fight your way to the extraction zone, where you eventually face a difficult enemy that's called a hunter. The hunter is an intelligent enemy with all the gadgets and traits of a Division agent. This is where your heart really throbs and you have to keep your calm just to overcome him. The game is on sale right now for only $12.49 and the season pass for a tenner. This is a steal compared to the hours of the exhilarating playtime you get. Number 3. Doom 3. Doom 3 takes me back to a simpler time. I was only 16 and I hadn't really played that many horror-style games. I remember this title so fondly because it scared the living shit out of me. Doom 3 is a classic first-person shooter with a, at that time, amazing-looking atmosphere. The lighting and graphics were top-notch, and the story was compelling as well. The gameplay is claustrophobic and in your face. The weapons are awesome, and the progression from just starting with your handgun to suddenly finding the BFG is epically awesome. The level design is intelligent and at times very difficult. You have to conserve ammo, so headshots and weak spots are an essential part of the gameplay. The game is on sale right now for just €124 on Steam's fall sale. The normal price is only a $5, so even if the game isn't on sale, you still get a lot of bang for the buck. Number 2. Stories Untold. This game really came as a surprise to me. I didn't really think that a classic writing horror game would bring me much joy, but it actually did. It's definitely not for everyone, but the combination of writing commands and reading the story on an old Commodore device really brings a unique setting to the game's first and intelligently scary chapter. The ambience and overall feel of the game reminds me very much of Netflix's Stranger Things. The theme is a classic 80s tune, and all the devices in the game are from that same era. The game has 4 chapters, 4 different stories. They all have a horror theme, with no jump scares however. This game is all about the setting and ambience and figuring out how to solve the different puzzles. All 4 chapters have a unique mechanic, and they even combine some first-person exploring. But for the most part, you just sit and write commands, tune devices and instruments. Right now, the game is on sale for just $2.49 and normally goes for €10. This is also a steal if you want to challenge yourself and the way you usually play games. Number 1. Dying Light.
You sure you're up for this?
This has to be at the top of my must-play zombie games ever. Dying Light is a game from the Polish game company Techland. They combine action, crafting, parkour, and great storytelling in this zombie smasher. The game takes place in the fictional city of Haran in what looks like the Middle East. There has been a viral outbreak which has turned almost all living things into flesh-craving zombies. You play as the secret operative Kyle Crane, who is sent into the quarantine zone to infiltrate certain factions. You have to earn people's respect by helping out in the community. You level up quickly and become better at running, parkour, and of course, killing. The more you play the game, the more you get sucked into the story. Not everything is black or white. The corporation you're working with has a secret agenda, and this agenda quickly becomes clear the farther into the story you get. Soon you'll be fighting alongside the people trapped behind the big cement wall surrounding the city, and you also find out not everyone is playing fair. When you meet Rise, the villain, for the first time, you quickly learn that during desperate times there are always people trying to take advantage of the situation. Rise is your classic villain you really have a grudge against. Dying Light is an exhilarating game with a lot of action and great customization as well. You can craft a buttload of weapons with insane modifiers. The game supports modding as well, so there's a lot of replayability in it. If you have friends that own the game, you can play the entire thing in 4-player co-op, which is awesome by itself. They've also made a true DLC that's actually worth your money. It expands the game with new story missions, vehicles, and a new, very big map. Techland has really shown everyone how to make a game and not fuck it up with a ton of microtransactions and trivial missions. There are, of course, run and fetch missions, but they let you explore new places instead of forcing you to traverse the same areas over and over again. And once the missions are done, they don't show up again like Preston Garvey's missions in Fallout 4. The game is on sale right now on Steam for only $11.99 for the base game and $16.49 for the enhanced edition with the big expansion the following. So this concludes my video for 5 games that are dirt cheap at the moment. I hope you've gotten inspired to maybe buy some of the games and play them. Leave a comment down below if you have some recommendations for the community, and remember to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.